Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Some relationships happen because of similar dysfunctions. Now, this is a very important thing because, of course, there's a general feeling, especially in this space, that thinks, women and men getting together because, well, we know why we getting with the women. She fine, or at least easy. But, they feeling like, that couple got together because the woman, thought the guy looked great, physically handsome, even body game, or, the man had money, or the man had game. It depends on which school of thought that you're coming at it from. But one that's not talked about, sometimes those couples get together not because, of a strong physical attraction. It might be there, it probably is there, but definitely not because of money. Let's be real. When we talk money, we talking a lot of money. We talking minimum six figures. I'm saying a minimum six figures, which quite frankly, in many areas of this country is middle class. So it's not even that much money, really, in some areas. So, only a small percentage of men are gonna make that. And then let's be real, only a small percentage of men really got game. Really seriously, like some real game. So you see that man and woman together, a lot of times they that together for all those other things. They might have played a part, but it's not the big thing. They together because they got similar dysfunctions. See, one of the things, and when I say dysfunctions, I mean I'm going as far as mental health issues, because I knew of one couple. It was a woman. Now, it's hard to judge people let's say I could read people at a professional training and reading people. I used to work as an investigator. And, I saw a couple and I knew the young lady. The young lady had some mental health issues because she was a compulsive liar. She was a blatant liar. To the point she told me something about a sister. Her sister, she was talking and I met her. She was working at a local store and I met her and she was talking about all the things she did. And she mentioned something about her sister and her sister did this and that. I was like, okay. And I remember when I saw her again, I said, hey, how your sister doing? She's like, I don't have a sister. Bingo. And then when I saw her with the guy, I ain't gonna lie. And then this was just some street sense right here. Dude look crazy, but they look like a great couple. They look like a great couple, Indeed, sometimes, when people have a dysfunction, sometimes they want somebody else with that dysfunction or a mental health issue or something. Because the reality is you got a lot of people out here who are undiagnosed or they got some issue and they learn to live with it. They learn to live with it. And then a lot of times they want to find somebody else who, if not have the same thing, somebody who can live with that thing, probably got their own mental health issues, their own dysfunctions, and they'll get together. Psychologists will call codependency and, probably some other stuff. I love to hear a psychologist comment on this, a professional one, not an amateur one, a professional one, because you'll see that a lot. You'll see that a lot. If you're just really paying attention, you really know what's going on, because I've known people with like legitimate mental health issues. And I mean, they functional enough where they can still work. And that's the key to it. They can still get a job. There's a lot of people, you have some mental health issues or some serious dysfunctions. It don't mean you can't work or get a job, anything like that. There's a lot of people who are functionally mentally ill out here. There are a lot of people. And that's a term I learned working back in the government when I was working at the disability rights section at Justice. And you'd be amazed, but generally the type of person they get, the type of person they find attractive is somebody who clicks with that particular issue. Or it could be even a situation where they halfway dealing with that person because that person helps them to cope, And that's how it happens. They get together and then, boom. And it might not, in most cases, it's not healthy for either one. I'm saying in most cases. There are rare occasions where somebody with some serious mental health issues or serious dysfunctions, they can get with that person who can bring healing to them. You know, particularly some women who have it, if they get with a man who has that healer archetype active in the house of the man. But it's a tough thing. Let's just be real, because that's getting deeper, and somebody would have to seriously have some mental, they would have to have that healer aspect and some serious strength mentally to deal with that. But most of the time they'll hook up with somebody who's just as bad. And we've probably seen it. We've probably seen it. If anybody who's in the real world has probably seen that one relationship, and you're looking at them like, wow, crazy attracts crazy, or dysfunction attracts dysfunction. You know, you get people, and it can be anything. And you know what? We can even expand that. Say somebody is an active drug user. Haven't y'all seen those cases? See, like I always say, more stuff goes into the relationships, even than what I talk about publicly. Because, you know, I'm addressing a lot of issues that people, you know, in this sector are on. But if we want to get deeper, and I usually get deeper when I go outside this sector and talking with a panel or addressing a group, which I do. I just don't advertise it here because these are private groups. But I got to get into all that other stuff because it's a very important thing. You know, crazy attracts crazy. I hate to put it that way. But you'll have a totally dysfunctional relationship. They're not getting anything done, you know, or they could be addicted to certain drugs or something. Like, that's an important thing too. That's a dysfunction, really. If you're using some type of drug or narcotic, it could be legal or illegal. You tend to want to have somebody who's using the same thing, you know. You tend to want if you shooting up that heroin, if you're shooting up that heroin or something, you're going to tend to want somebody else who's doing the same thing. And there's a lot of people. There's people who've met in like rehab and everything. You know, there's people who met in mental health institutions. You know, you dealing with that. And it's because of the similarity. Remember, the root word of the word relationship is relate. The root word. Now, I ain't saying it's good or bad. In fact, it's really harmful if they both have dysfunctions and neither side is doing anything as far as healing. But it's just a reality. You got to be able to relate to that person. That's why I'm going to tell you what. That's why I would say to many men, women too, but many men, since we're on the men's side, don't get upset over a rejection. Let me say it again. Don't get upset over a rejection. You don't know what's going on with that person. Like, you see that woman and you go up, you try to talk to her and she's like, or she's like, no, or anything. And you get some guys ready to shoot at them or stab them. I'm like, you don't know anything about that woman. You know? I've known, like, okay, I'm going to share a story. I can't call any names on it. And I got to be very careful how I share it. But I remember there was I kind of knew both sides in the equation. There was a guy going after a woman. And, I got another something to add to that. It was opening up. I've experienced a lot. I don't think about it until I get a trigger or something for a trigger word. But, you know, I knew the woman had some serious issues. But the dude, she was fine though. She was attractive. And, you know, tried to tell the guy, I say, dude, you might want to leave it alone and everything. And, you know, kept chasing. She kept rejecting him. But then finally let him in to use him. And then he was very sorry for it. He was very sorry because she had some serious issues. Like, some of these women, like some guys be chasing them, getting all mad at them and everything. It's like, oh, you don't know what's up. There's quite a few women who are very attractive, but they in therapy all the time. They got some serious issues. They could even be harmful to a man. They might decide, hey, they got some issues. They're going to harm a man, you know? And then I remember this story I just thought about. There was a woman I had met, and we had a mutual friend between us, and he kept saying, I was going to holler at it. He basically let me know, say, dude, you don't want to mess with her. Dude, you don't want to mess with her. And he was a good guy, so I listened to him, you know? Because there's always something. But usually when somebody had that type of crazy, and I don't mean that in derogatory way. That's just, let's just say people can understand what that is. They need some of, if they're going to deal with somebody, they're going to deal with something crazy. See, look, and this is particularly for the men who watch this. You know, if you're a good guy, you're a solid man and everything. You know, you're a solid man. And that's who I mainly try to help out here. You know, you might be considered generally non-select or something, but you still a solid man. Because real quick, I'm gonna make this a little bit longer than I usually do for a couch video. Real quick, you have a group of non-select men who are actually pretty decent men. They pretty decent. In fact, they just need maybe a few tweaks in their select. Sometimes they might need to move. They just deal sometimes some of those men, they'll run into the women who are on those serious dysfunctions. You know, and there's a lot of factors going in there, where you live, your social class. Like, you get a lot of guys who are working their way out of the lower classes, but they, for whatever reason, they're around like the ratchets and stuff, and wondering why they don't want them. It's like, dude, you're a solid dude. For the solid guys out there, you can't take it personally. You don't know what's going on with that woman, all right? You don't know what's going on with that woman, all right? So you got to really take that into consideration. You know, you get that, you know, someone said, it was a saying, rejection is God's protection. In fact, I've done a video on it. I can't remember the exact title, but I've said that. I said, oh, don't get mad. You don't know what's going on. There's a lot of women who look very attractive, but they got some serious issues. Like, I can't get into why I know. Let's just say I've had a lot of experience. There's a lot of women, very attractive women. And for those who sometimes say it's all about race, no, I'm talking a specific instance I know, and I can't give away too many details about women in rehab programs, drug rehab programs and stuff. A lot of very attractive, like, white women in that 7 to 8 range, white girls and stuff, had some serious health, some serious issues. Guys will hold these women up, but I'm like, dude, sometimes you don't know what's going on upstairs, all right? And the only type of guy they're gonna be attracted to is a guy who shares that, who they hooked on drugs, all of that stuff, the men using it too. I've known quite a few, especially in the area I live in. I'll just say it like this, the area I live in had some rehab homes and stuff, and because of some stuff I was doing professionally, I got to interact with many of them. So I had 1,000 jobs. But that's the thing. So when somebody, that's one thing, that when somebody has a certain dysfunction, particularly a mental health issue, they'll tend to look for somebody similar. Indeed, that's why you might see a very attractive woman with a certain type of guy, and you're like, why would she see in him? And they might have something similar. The root word of relationship is relate. They can relate better. So my thing is, you can't, when you see this, don't take it personally. In fact, if you're a solid man, you know you're a good guy, you ain't using drugs, shoot, your mental health is strong, you know to leave that alone. And don't take it personally. You don't see the whole picture. Trust me. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I want y'all to think about that though, okay? And I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.